Sustainability is one of the big buzzwords in farming right now in agriculture that can be kind of vague. They sound great, but people can't connect what they really mean. We try to give them an experience of, what does sustainability means to us. It means farming in the lowest impact way that we can, respecting wildlife and the fact that this is their habitat and they're a part of this ecosystem.
Many people just think economic sustainability, but there's so much more to it. It's what is best for the environment, what is best in habitat. The deer were here first just because of our desire for economic stability or sustainability solely is not enough of a reason to put up a high fence and keep everything out.
Crafting wines that are the best expression of what we can produce to share with people. All of that to hopefully set a stage for a bright future. The Steinbeck family can trace its roots in Paso Robles back to 1884. There were several family members that moved from Geneseo, Illinois because they heard about good farming opportunities out in California. They picked up everything, did an exploratory trip, and then a couple months later moved literally everything they owned out here to just a couple miles down the road. And we've been on this property since 1921. My grandpa farmed thousands of acres in barley, but then started the vineyard in 1982.
So as a child, we were cattle and grain. It wasn't vineyards at that time. I was always into the ag side of the family business. But I did move home in '97, and when I got here, Mom and Dad were well established with the vineyards. And so I was on a tractor, I did the irrigation, all things outdoors to learn the family business from the ground up, literally. My folks have stepped back. Dad ran the show for about 45 years.
Less than 100 years ago, a significant majority of the population had some sort of direct connection to someone that was involved in agriculture. And now it's less than 5%. And so farms are scaling up, but the small family farm that I think it's a dying thing. Agriculture in general is starting to, in a variety of ways, soften the impact that we have on the environment around us. What we've kind of keyed in on in a big way here is wildlife.
We started watching all our neighbors put up high fencing, and then a few hundred acres of vineyards were ripped out, and then we just really started noticing an increase in the population of the deer. And the type of wire that our neighbors use, nothing really can get through that wire. Those properties become, I suppose you'd say, sterile. That's not conservation, that's not sustainability, that is them looking out for their best interest. And I'll repeat, that's important, we have to be viable. However, can there be a balance?
Hunting on the winery was, something I've never done before.
Ryan, the family's approach to it, they don't want it to be high fenced. The animals are active, not just deer, rabbits. We see a little bit of everything.
And to have them free ranging like this is their environment. We're in the middle of that, and it was just a really cool experience.
You might look at 500-acre vineyard and think, oh man, it can't be that hard to shoot a deer. But then you start looking at some of the terrain, and there's 400,000 bushes on this property. Every single one of them looks really, really similar. So you might think you've got something pinned down, but then good luck finding it again.
When you're in the vineyard, there's all kinds of different colors. Of course, there's green, but then you got the grapes, you get different colored grapes. The deer, half in and half out of the rows.
First of all, they're very smart, the deer out here. The way they use the vineyards to kind of get in between the rows, and you really got to work at it.
The technology in these Steiner rangefinding binoculars is pretty impressive because capability to drop a pin exactly where that deer is, and then when it's time to make the shot, range it. The glass quality is exceptional. They're a pretty dynamite little package.
Clarity is second to none. The Steiner optic makes it easy, not only from the binos, but also from the rifle scopes itself. Because there's a lot of glassing that goes on, and you want to get as much information as you can, because when you do have a shot, you want to make an ethical, a clean shot.
The optic on the firearm was actually ideal for me. The clarity was incredible. The range of magnification that I had to work with, going up to 16 power, I like to dial in when I can and really bring the target to life. For this hunt, and especially on the deer that I shot, in perfect clarity was fantastic.
We see all around us people justifiably fence deer out of their vineyard. But when you have 40, 50,000 acres that are all fenced off now, that's a significant chunk of their native habitat. And so what impact is that having on the deer?
And one of the challenges we face in this great state of California that's beautiful and has beautiful weather, there are some laws in place that don't allow us to get depredation permits. There are programs at the zoo, there are programs at the homeless shelter where we could kill an animal, take perfect care of it, get the good meat to people that really need it. And we are not allowed to do that in California. It's altogether wrong, because how can we be conservationists when our economic viability is in danger just to save the animals?
I'm hoping that we can bring some attention to it before it's a crisis, and we can promote the idea that wildlife and farming can coincide on the same properties. And so I'm trying to figure out and create a scenario and create an example where agriculture can also promote good habitat and good hunting opportunities.